And we're waiting for people to come into the room. Hello, hello, hello. This is Dean and Kathy. We are doing political readings tonight. And our topic is Russia and Ukraine. And all of our questions are, I got a list of questions already, so people don't have to come up with questions. But if you want to add questions, we would be happy to add
Depending
them
on time, of course, right?
depending on our time. We have 8 major questions here to read on tonight.
I think that's plenty, though, right?
And since we're doing some housekeeping first, Jean's got a new show. If you haven't caught it, tell us about your new program that you're doing on Mondays.
On Mondays, I'm releasing. It's a self-paced, and it's all about learning about yourself. It's called Living in Your Grace, and the first two have already already recorded. And the first one was about kindness, and the second week was all about understanding and discovering your why. And then that's every Monday at 8 p.m. I'm journaling along with you and doing that self-discovery. And then on Sunday nights at 8, I will be doing a check-in. So that's pretty much it. I've been getting a lot of good feedback from that program, and I look forward for more people to watch it.
Yes, and then on Saturdays we're doing mini readings at 1:30, 2 o'clock at the latest, depending on if there's any conflicting shows or anything conflicting in our time frame at that time of day. So between 1:30 and 2 o'clock, we'll go live, do mini readings, 3 card free readings, $5 for single questions. Then Sunday, we do our spiritual growth readings, and that is at 8 a.m. Any carryover questions, we will come back for a part 2 on my channel. That's on Hermit's Corner. And then on my channel, we'll come back and do the second part of any leftover questions that we had that we couldn't get through in the first hour and a half.
I thought we decided that we wouldn't do that.
I thought we decided we were going to do that.
Nope, it was first come, first serve.
First come,
Anything
first
after 10.
I don't mind going back on to pick up more questions or doing a second round, because we got a lot of people that didn't make the early morning show that came in the afternoon. So up to you. Anyways, we'll let you know. We'll talk about it more, and we'll let you know if we're going to do a Saturday afternoon program too. If not, we'll let you know one way or the other. And then I'm still writing. I'm working on a tarot deck right now. I've been writing like crazy. I'm also working on a project. So I've been going back and forth between the project work and the tarot deck readings. So, and we were just letting people come in. Hi, Janet P. You're the first one in the room. I know Linda G and Jinlin and Lena are on right now, and I don't know if they finished up yet or not. I didn't know that they had a scheduled program, because I would not have gone back to back with them.
Well, that's okay, Kathy. I mean,
Well,
because it's not a competition. We're not competing.
Before I came live.
So, I mean, we can very easily just run through them. And
well, it looks like they just no, they started 26 minutes ago. They could go probably another half hour. So we can get started. People can catch ours on the flip side. The questions we're doing are going to be regarding Russia, the Ukraine, and the war going on. And I've been sort of, hey, Casey's Spiritual Corner and Star Crossing, welcome to the program. Thank you for joining us. We're sort of delaying a little bit to let people get in. We do have some competition with Linda G and them on another channel right now. I'm running a live show that's politics, but they're not talking about the war. They're talking about Trump and Thomas and them last I was watching. So I'll go back and watch them on the replay, and I'm sure people will come back and watch this show on the replay too that miss it. I do want to send love and light and blessings to Ukraine, and ask all the archangels to surround the Ukraine people and those that are fighting against this horrible, horrible autocracy that's trying to take over their country. Give them the strength and the courage to stand up to all those that try to defeat them. Protect them with the beautiful blessing of light and healing and strength to get through this dire time. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Thank you. And to any higher powers, whatever your religious beliefs are, totally respect that. Just please send all the love and light and energy. I watched a reader the other day that was talking about doing a remote viewing, and she was watching the energy flow of all the love and prayers going to the Ukraine. And she said that she could actually see light sparkling around all these major cities in Ukraine, surrounding the people. She said it was the most beautiful thing she saw. And I went, wow, I'm going to have to try to look at that. But I could just imagine with all the prayers constantly going out from all over the world and all over from the collective, how important that is to constantly send them prayers and strength and ask the archangels to surround them and protect them. So hello, JR, and hello, Snow Wolf. So let's get started because we have quite a few questions to go here, and some of them are going to be long. Are we running Celtics on these? Mini Celtics? I can't hear you, Dean. You're on mute.
We can, or we can.
You want to
do a deeper dive on? Let's look at it this way. If the question requires us to do a deep dive on it, we can.
Okay.
If
the
not,
first question
we'll do a small Celtic, a half Celtic, and then if it needs more,
I'm going to try to timestamp these too, so if people want to go back and re-listen to any portion of this. Where is my timestamping? I can't see my times. Hold on. I'm going to have to open my YouTube window to get the times. I got to shrink things down here really quick. Let me separate my chat screen from my YouTube play. It's going to be a little harder for me to see my chats.
I'm sorry, JR. We're not doing readings tonight. We're strictly doing the
political, the Russia, Ukraine.
Yeah, current events with Russia and Ukraine. We're not doing personal readings tonight. Sorry.
Okay. I'm going to expand my window out just a little further to see my timestamp. Okay. I may have to go back afterwards and get it.
Kathy, you don't need to go through all that, because if you look at your clock on its recording, it tells you the time.
What's that?
On your on the StreamYard, it shows you the time on it.
I didn't even see that.
So you just write down the time.
24. Okay. Okay. So the first question is, Russia is now threatening Poland. I read this in the Sun. Russia is now sending threats to Poland that they are going to attack them if they don't back down. I'm not sure back down from what, providing aid, providing help or not. Dean heard yes. I heard yes. Dean heard no. But I keep on having a vision that in my dreams that Poland does get attacked. I see bombs. I see people. I feel like they're actually going to try hitting citizens that are fleeing Ukraine. I'm hoping not. I'm hoping I am totally wrong. But we're going to read on this and see what the cards have to say about it.
So is Ukraine gonna bomb Poland?
Is Russia going to actually attack Poland in any way?
Okay.
They've come very close. They've been within 15 miles of the Poland border, where people are trying to cross into Poland from Ukraine. So I'm going to do a 5-card, a short card. The first card out I get is the 7 of cards in reverse. Now, the 7 of cards upright is moving to higher ground. So I'm seeing this as Russia is going to stoop down low and may do this. And it's not looking good. Above it, the world's watching. And the world and I hear the world and NATO are watching to see what he does. They're keeping an eye on this. They're listening to chatter. They're trying to prevent anything like this coming forward. I get the High Priestess. That's the Ukraine taking the highest ground possible to protect themselves and their people. Below this action by Putin, I get the 4 of Cups in reverse. Oh no, I get the 4 of Cups. So Putin's giving them offers, giving them options, but they're probably not reasonable. I haven't read of any of the options he's giving. I think his options are everybody's supposed to lay down their arms and give up and just walk away. I don't see that happening. Nobody's going to lay down their arms and let Putin take over. It's not reasonable. In the near future, I get the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. Putin's going to lose out a lot with this reversal of that 10 of Pentacles. It's going to cost him a lot of money. It's going to cost him a lot of angst coming from the world. I'm going to see where this is going. Underneath it, oh, he's getting very impatient. I get Temperance in reverse. He's very impatient on what's going on with Poland, and they're wanting to provide planes, but redirect it to Ukraine by shipping them to another country, to a third-party country to deliver them and all that. He's not happy about that as far as he's concerned. They give them aircraft. It's going to cause even more problems. Three more cards on this. Putin thinks he's the Queen of Cups, that he's got this under control. He feels like he's strategizing, and they're going to follow his lead because they don't want to tempt him. But the sun is shining in him in reverse, and this means he's going to fail at his attempts to do this. And he's the King of Cups in reverse. You know, this guy has a shirt on, but there he is on his dark horse. That King of Cups, he's losing his emotions. He's unstable. He's emotional. He's fighting this war emotionally right now, and it's not going his way. And he knows it. He knows he's being defeated. So that's what I'm getting in this. But I'm feeling like, yeah, he may be provocated to attacking Poland. What are you getting, Dean? Maybe your cards are better than mine.
Not much better, and I don't know if there's an official attack. Maybe some. All I'm seeing is tension. I'm not seeing anything that's like really, really forceful. Right now, I have the King of Cups in reverse, which is telling me there are unstable emotions, betrayal, possibly some deceit, envy, any of those negative emotions that you can think of. And what's overshadowing him is the King of Pentacles in reverse, which there's no love, there's no balance, there's no money, there's no support or aid for supporting this, whatever this debacle is, whatever we want to call it. Because right now it's like he feels like Poland's kind of betraying him for taking like the refugees in, crossing the border, and he feels like betrayed, and this is because what's opposing him is is it Empress? Can't remember. The Empress in reverse. So again, he feels like he's been cheated out. Like he should be the one calling the shots. He should be the one, you know, to be the just to be the one that's in control. And he feels like they're seeking out other asylums or refuge in somewhere else. He feels like if that's happening, they're going to be there's nothing for him to control. They're outside, out of sight, out of mind. On the surface, I read this as two ways. I feel like the Polish are welcoming the Ukrainians in as much as they want with the Hierophant, but at the same time, I feel like Putin also feels like he is this. I'm the one who gives everybody. They should love me. They should. It's like that whole Napoleon conqueror concept. Kind of crazy if you think about it. What's what's above them, the truth, I will say, in all of this, is the Three of Cups. There's despair, there's ruins, there's nothing to celebrate, there's nothing to come together and rejoice in. It's just dreary. Okay. The past and current present right now, there's still tension out there with the Seven of Swords. So possibly but this is in reverse. So this feels like let's see, because seven is all about stealing, taking away, but this just looks like things have been left in the ruin. Nothing to take, nothing to hide. The future is not looking even better. I have the Seven of Wands. So I don't know if they're being tested, or because the Seven of Wands, you could be presented with options that you may not want to have to deal with from somebody that's opposing you, or learning life lessons possibly throughout this. Um, so I threw some more just to see what else is going on. So for the overall view of this, I have the King of Swords. Justice will be had. Answers will be, in truth, will be revealed, but it's going to be in time because there's still choices that have to be made to seal the fate, and there's no compromising with them. But I still feel like Poland's going to be safe in all of this. And then I also have the Ten of Wands. So I feel like there's going to a deal or treaty is going to be made for the Ukraine to be there, and they're going to take care of them. And I don't foresee any. I don't think there's anything that's going to happen, because I also have that on the bottom of my deck, the Fool in reverse, which I feel like this is Putin in the aspect, Russia's aspect on this, because I feel as though he's biting off more than he can chew at this point, and he doesn't know how to. He won't know how to recuperate from this. I also, yeah. Again, justice is going to be had. So that's what I'm getting.
That's interesting. The next question we have is about Belarus. Belarus is the country that is a NATO, or is a Putin ally, that is on the border of Ukraine, and it is the country in where Russia did a lot of their staging prior to the attack. And the question is in regards to the people of Belarus are really resisting the fact that Russia is using them as a staging center. at their airports and everything else, because that's where they're flying out of to send aircraft into Ukraine and all that. And there's a lot of protests and resistance on Russia using their country as a staging center. And the question is, once Putin falls, will Belarus have a regime change? Because right now, the current president self-appointed himself as the leader of the country, and he's really a Putin puppet. So will there be an uprising of the people, and will they ask for a regime change after Putin falls?
I'm hearing yes while I'm shuffling.
Yeah, I'm definitely hearing yes on that too.
Okay, let's see.
So let me run a 5 card on it and see what it looks like. And I asked, will he fall? Will the president of Belarus fall? And underlying, I get the underlying part of the reading is the 3 of Pentacles in reverse. The 3 of Pentacles upright is them planning and working together. So in reverse, that's the people forcing him out. It's an uprising towards that president. He is seen by the country as the King of Cups in reverse. He is not for the people. He is not for the people of his own country. He is for himself. He is not emotionally supporting the people and what they want to happen in their country. The world is watching the actions of Belarus right now, and they're being also impacted by sanctions and stuff at this time and cut off from trades and different aspects, just like Putin is and like Russia is. So they are very much being watched by the world, and they're also being listened to. In the center of the reading, I get the Ace of Pentacles. Financially, that country is under extreme financial strain right now, and it's not doing well for their economy, the people of their country, or anything. I get the 6 of Swords in reverse. Now, this is normally upright. This would be moving to calmer waters, but in reverse, they're getting blocked. And this is being blocked by all the world powers, the NATO powers, by trade, by sanctions, by financial assistance, by everything that is needed for them to move forward as a prosperous country. And the final card is the 7 of Cups in reverse. And yeah, he's going to be replaced. He is going to fall. He has nothing to gain from any of these actions, and all he's done is put his country into turmoil. So, yes, I do see that they will be uprising against the current regime, and he will be replaced as soon as Putin falls. He'll fall with Putin. What are you getting?
So I did a full spread because I kind of wanted to know what was going on, but it's kind of repeating itself. And it goes back to everything I felt. Yes, there will be a change in leadership because why? It's all about the people. The 2 of Cups is upright, and of course, there's the medical sign there. So it's all about healing. The people will come together and they will heal their country yet again. Okay, so I will lead with that, and I will say I see their current dictator as the King of Wands in reverse. He's lost his light. This is like a madman trying to make himself bigger than what he is. Okay. Or this Knight of Wands, I should say. He's very aggressive, but lazy at the same time and sloppy. You don't want a Knight of Wands to be lazy and sloppy. There's going to be a change because what's overshadowing him is the 10 of Swords upright. So there is possibly some redeeming qualities to him. but he's not going to listen to that because why? It's all about the Page of Wands and wanting that greed. It's all about greed. And I feel as though everything is pointing in the direction that yes, he he's leaving. I'm just going to leave it at that. The past was the Eight of Swords. Again, there's no leadership. It's been freed up, ready for somebody else to take over. What the leadership that was there that kept the people in bondage is gone now. So this is the good thing to see. And why? Because the Eight of Cups is saying that it's time to go. It's time for you. You've outstayed your welcome, and you're excuse me, it's time for you to go. And I will lead with the last card for the final outcome. If things are to continue this way, Lady Justice will have her say. The people will have their say. So yes, it'll happen. It's just a waiting game. It's time. So what's the next question, Kathy?
Okay, I'm sorry. My husband's talking to me. Just a second. The next question is Russia's hacking our infrastructure, banking and or utilities, the electrical grid, the power grids. And
we need to break that up because those are separate questions.
yeah, let's break those up in separate questions. Let's work on baking first, and I'll be right back. I'm gonna pull that up out of the oven.
Is Russia is Russia going to try to infiltrate our into our banking systems? Is Russia going to try to hack in to U.S. banking systems? Ooh, yes.
Okay, sorry about that. I just had to get it out of the oven so it doesn't burn. Okay, so Russia hacking banking systems. I'm hearing from my guides that yes, they're going to try, but it's not going
to be successful. What's going to end up happening? What I got is they're going to try to do this. Russia's going to try to hack into our banking networking and systems and stuff like that, but it's going to be their downfall because they had the Four of Swords in reverse, which means it's not a good thing to do. I think they're going to be sought out as quickly as they're going to try to do it, and they're going to do it because what's overshadowing it? It's the King of Wands. It's all about greed. Because they can. That's what it's all about. Because they can. They feel entitled, and you know how people are when they feel entitled to something. They're reckless and they're crazy, and they stand out like a sore thumb. And yes, what's opposing them is the Chariot in reverse. Why it's in reverse? Because they never had any real control on this in the beginning, right? It's all about this is chaos, really. So they're gonna go in blindly because they think they're entitled, but it's gonna backfire on them. Lady Justice is gonna have her way and hold them accountable. Again, they're gonna be in the Five of Cups or the Three of Cups. They're gonna be broke and still. That's what I'm getting. It's gonna be short, and it's gonna be. They're gonna have the. They're gonna meet their demise really quickly on this.
My underlying card of the reading is here we are standing strong in our foundation. We're already anticipating this, so we're working on watching this like a hawk. making sure that our securities are up and everything. This is being heavily monitored nationally by all the major banks. Um, that this is us standing in our truth, our power, and our strength as the Page of Swords moving forward. Yes, we are in a fight. There's turmoil. There's discomfort coming towards us. We know that. Russia's going to have to walk away from this, though, um, because they're not going to be able to get through our systems. There will cause some turmoil with this King of Pentacles in reverse. He will manage to get through very briefly, and it may keep us down for a day or two, but he's that negative King in Cups. What he tries fails, and here he is in his disgrace again, emotionally not making it. I threw some clarifiers on this to see how the impact would be on us. We work strong. We're strong and hard. We're on top of this. Our IT security systems, both at the federal level and the banking structures, are really on this. They're monitoring it heavily. They have people monitoring this 24/7, and they are on top of it. And I get the Three of Wands for Putin. He sits in disgrace, losing this battle. So, no, he will not be successful. It may be a temporary blip in our system. We may be down for a day or two to keep some cash on hand just in case. But I don't see him successfully breaking down our banking infrastructure. If it does get through, they may temporarily freeze our use of ATMs and stuff like that for a 24-hour period to make sure that the system's clean, it's up and running, there's no viruses or anything lingering. But I think they're going to catch it as they try to infiltrate the system. So I think we're ahead of it. I think they've anticipated this kind of stuff. They know what kind of tools they have, and I think they will be on top of it. Now, regarding our major infrastructure, my guides say no. They will not be able to hack our major infrastructure, our utilities, or anything like that. What are you hearing from your guides on that? Nope. Yeah, I'm hearing no. Should we throw on it?
I'm okay with it unless you really want to.
I'm good with the no. I mean, I'm hearing a pretty strong no. We're not going to get through to our utility infrastructures. And this is the time of year that it's not going to really make that big of an impact on us anyways. We're coming into the spring.
Mm-hmm.
We're starting to warm up everywhere. I mean, the worst could be is us Californians that we just hit 86 where I'm at may suffer a little bit without having air conditioning. I haven't turned mine on yet. I'm opening doors and windows right now. So now that it's hot outside, but the air's still cool. So the next thing on our list of questions is the port of Verdansk, I guess is how you say it. It's Dyansk, and that is the port over by Malarouge, that major port at the Ukraine. There was reported that the Ukrainian Navy took down a major fleet ship of Russia that was a transport ship. And on that transport ship, there was 20 tanks, 45 armored vehicles, and 400 troops. That totaled approximately 400,000 men and 17, what do you call them? Commanders. The ship went down. It blew up. It was carrying fuel and armor. So when they struck that ship, and you can see it on the news, I was reading it through the sun. When it struck that ship, it blew up tremendously, and it took a second ship down and injured a third ship, which managed to get out of the to flee the port and head back towards Russia. So all three ships are gone now, and I am wondering. My question for this is with those Russian ships down and all that backup servicemen and all that gunnery and everything gone, Does this open the port back up to Ukraine's control now that that major shipping has been taken out of the Russian port or out of the Ukraine's port? So does Ukraine take control back over of their port or not? And will this allow NATO arms and supplies to get into to us for us to use that the NATO countries to use that as a supply port to get arms and everything back into Ukraine? So, how do we want to? You want to ask? Will this port be open to the NATO countries supplying Ukraine with arms and goods now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I heard change decks. I'm gonna use pop deck on this. See what we get. This open supplies from NATO to Ukraine. I'm gonna run a Celtic on this. See if they're taking back their port. Woohoo. Well, the underlying card of my reading is the Six of Pentacles. So I would read that as yes, they should be able to receive charity, which would be arms through that port from NATO. I don't know that arms are, supplies and goods and all that for Ukraine charity, but yes, they should be able to receive. That's good. I'm glad to see that card. Let's see what I got here. In their center of the reading, Ukraine's action gave them prosperity. So yes, it opened up that port to them. And it's a win for them. It's saving a lot of lives by taking down all that armament, all those reinforcements, those troops and everything. That is saving tons of lives. So that's a very prosperous move on their part. It was a good move. The Knight of the Page of Cups is coming forward from them. That's crossing them. So they're hoping that they're going to get more emotional support out of NATO, and this is going to open up the waterways for them. Above this, they took a leap of faith that they could pull that off and be successful at it, and it's paid off for them. And what was underlying this, they manifested this. They manifested the ability to take control of their waters. So they're trying to keep control of that port, and they're manifesting that they'll be able to hold this. And in their recent past, they're standing as the Queen of Swords. They're standing in the light of everybody, sending them light, faith, strength. And they're counting on that constant support from everybody. In their near future, I get the Ace of Swords, that peace dove, that strength, that power from above, that light shining on them, allowing them to be the warriors that they are and stand in their strength and their light and find peace in this process by taking control of that port, able to help lead to peace. What their fears are that Russia isn't moving to calmer waters. Um, so they're fearing that Russia's not moving to calmer waters, and they fear that this isn't going to lead to total control of this situation. But they do want to. They're hoping that the opening this port up to receiving goods will lead to a happy family, so that they have a fear that they're still going to have problems. Um, I got the King of Pentacles. I'm seeing this is Zelensky at this point in time. This has given him some power, some strength, and some backing from NATO. Maybe this is NATO coming forward for them, helping them in the financial support, the support of arms. But this is a winning cup, and the final outcome of this is helping them bring their family together, helping them bring the country back together. So I do think that this target of this Russian ship is really helped their war efforts and taking a little bit of control back out of Russia. We still have other problems to look at, but this is one way that Russia has failed immensely in miscalculating Ukraine's ability to defend themselves and to defend their port. Um, so blessings to them. What are you getting?
Um, it's been mixed. I tried working with this with the opposition deck, and both spreads were really ugly. And I was like, this isn't. I don't know if this is the right deck or not. So I got the Light Seers deck out, and I'm getting the same cards in this, but what I'm getting is the struggle is real.
Yeah, I didn't
That's
say it wasn't a struggle.
do I?
I said they're definitely still struggle, but this is one avenue that's
Yeah,
opening up for them.
yeah. So what I have here underneath my deck is the Wheel of Fortune, which it's like fate is turned in their favor. It's just will they be able to stay on top of that? And that is kind of where I'm at with this. I did a full Celtic spread on this. So they're connected again. Opening up that port is allowing them to feel connected to everyone again, allow for like resources to come in and out. But there's still something that may be looming over them. Hidden agendas, secrets, possibly lies and betrayal, because this is what's overshadowing it too. The moon. Or it could be dreams of optimism too. And what's opposing it is the magician. So this is telling me that, like, oh yeah, we got the port, but what are we going to do? How are we going to work it to our best advantage? So I don't think time is on their side. They're going to have to figure that shit out really, really quickly, because if they don't, their worst fears is being hijacked again. So
I'm
the
with you.
past is do what?
I'm right with you on that one.
And I do have in their past and current presidents all about finding ways to collaborate to make this transition possible, to try to allow for this port to work for them in the way they need it to work. Their future is, well, I have the Five of Pentacles only because it's that fear of the unknown. I think that's having that fear there with being left out in the cold or potentially to be put in that situation again. Um, but I, on the surface, I do have the Four of Cups, so it's telling me they have options, but I feel like they're kind of like maybe second guessing themselves as to what avenue to pursue. But above them, I do have new opportunities with the Ace of Pentacles. So there's going to be some money flow coming through, some more resources coming through. Their self-view of the situation right now, they feel good because, yay, we got a feat, right? We got a feat, and they feel like they're on top. They're in control to some extent, and they feel like they're, again, that they're in control, and they have the strength card as well, and that's reflecting in their environment, that strength, that support, that camaraderie that they have around them. Their biggest hope is their hopes and fears with, I think this is their fears, is with the tower, things crumbling down in front of them and quickly if they don't act upon it. And the outcome, if they continue on this current path, is the Ten of Swords, walking away from the situation, moving on. So with lessons learned, that is what I got on the situation right now, with them taking control of that port. Which it wasn't any better with the other cards either. At least this way, they weren't as ugly looking. Next question, Kathy?
Yeah, hold on. I was trying to make a moderator here. I don't know if Casey Spiritual Corner is still in the room, but I did make you a moderator, Casey, and you should post your channel information for us, please. She does this beautiful show. Dean and I joined her last week on her show on Fridays. It's all about, they talk about spirituality. It's just an open discussion forum. People can interact. And we really had a blast on it. We're going to try to catch that with her. And Friday again, or at least I am. I'm sure Dean is too, if he's available. But it was we had a really good time, and she had a whole group of readers on. I happened to be in my pajamas. We had finished up a show, and I jumped in my pajamas, was going to head towards bed when we discovered she had that program on, and we joined in with her. So we were on the show, but weren't showing our faces because, well, I wasn't. I don't know if Dean did or not, but if you're still in the show, Casey, please post your channel information and the time of your program on Friday. That would be a great help. And if not, I'll be in touch with you. I have your email address, or I can get a hold of you. Anyways, I want to also welcome everybody else in the room. I know we've filled up since we've came on. Hi, Greeter, TK, and Vivian. Thank you for posting everything. Bambi, Tammy Bambi's in the room. JR, Snow Wolf's in the room. Who else is here? I'm just trying to quickly. James C is here. Tracy, Ralph, Janet P. Welcome to our room. Thank you for joining us. Okay, I switch the questions around, but the next question is: the Ukraine reported to NATO today that they were hit by phosphorus weapons from Russia. I think that was in retaliation for the bombing of the ship. To tell you the truth, it's not over, but Russia is now using illegal chemical weapons because phosphorus weapons are an illegal chemical weapon and are prohibited by the war treaties. Post World War, I think they banned them in World War One. I don't think they used phosphorus weapons in World War II. In World War One, they used a lot of phosphorus weapons. It causes horrible burns and blindness and all kinds of problems. Anyways, they reported that phosphorus weapons were used by Russia on the people of Ukraine, but they had not provided any proof to NATO yet. So there's no confirmation that where or how many people were attacked in that bombing, but they are reporting that it did happen. According to the news, I was reading, I think it was the Sun. It was several different news articles I was reading, that was reported. So I want to know, and I asked my guides, did it happen? And my guides told me yes, it did happen. And I checked it with my pendulum. My pendulum also said yes, it did happen. So will NATO take a more active move towards um, these kind of actions against from Russia towards the Ukraine? Will they take a more active step, or are they going to actually just continue to increase sanctions? So let's ask: will they be increasing sanctions on Russia
Oh,
for using phosphorus weapons?
well, NATO?
Will NATO take a more aggressive action for them using phosphorus weapons? I mean, it's a huge war crime. I think they're still attempting to stay out of them. And then we'll ask after this, will they take a military action at this point to help step in and help? But let's see if it's just going to be sanctions. So will NATO increase sanctions due to the use of phosphorus weapons by Russia? And they just about strip them of everything they can. What else can they do? NATO's standing as the magician. They've got something in the works. I see that they have the Ace of Wands, so they are going to be taking some kind of action. Get the Three of Pentacles. They are NATO's discussing this. Exactly what are they going to do? What kind of actions are they going to take? They're planning. They're all coming together and they're discussing what is it that we're going to do. Top of the line is they're going to cut them off even further financially. So this is Putin losing more money, losing more financial backing. So pretty much they got that taken under control. I do get the Ace of Swords. They're going to stand in as the highest power they can. And they're freezing Russia out with the Ten of Swords in reverse. Oh no, the Ten of Swords. They're playing freeze out with him. They've got him worried about what they're going to do next. He's not sure how they're going to react to this. I think he's playing Russian roulette right now by going this route. And I think he's trying to tempt everybody into getting into this world war. And I think that's what Russia's doing. He's provocating. The underlying card in this is NATO is trying to be the Hierophant in this. They're trying to stay at the highest level possible, staying within the faith that they can get this taken care of without entering this war. But I think this is the scary card is Russia's playing Russian roulette with us right now. They're tempting us. Underneath that, I get the Three of Swords. A lot of fear going on. And the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. It's going to cost him a lot of money. And the Seven of Swords. Putin needs to step down now. That's going to be their, I think, the negotiating factor. NATO's going to come through and say, "Hey, you have to step down. This is not good." The world's going to come down on him. The world in reverse. So I don't know if this is the beginning of NATO taking action or not. We'll see with the next question, because the next question is going to sort of lead that direction. What are you getting?
So I asked if NATO was going to continue sanctioning Russia's for their use for continuing to use illegal weapons, and I have right now. It looks like everything's in the works. I have the Magician, so it's all about working towards the end goal to relieve and aid who needs to be helped, to calm the waters. And I think what's opposing them is the Three of Cups and all this, because there can't. It's like the way I see this. It's like NATO is, their hands are tied until things happen. Okay, I do feel like on the surface they're planning and they're moving forward with taking action with the Three of Wands, but it might also be a funding and an official that has to sign off on it to approve. There has to be things set in place for people to sign off and buy into it. I do feel with the past and current present, they feel like they've been lied and cheated and stolen from. So there's I feel like for this, Russia's been lying to everybody, openly lying. And in the future, I get the sun sunny days. So there's going to be healing going on through this process until this issue gets resolved. NATO's view on this is the Eight of Swords. They're, like I said, their hands are tied until there's proof. There has to be proof. And the environment, they're optimistic and hopeful that they will receive the answers that they seek. I think the biggest fears is the devil, being lied, cheated, and preyed upon. But if everything is to go, the outcome, it will eventually turn out with the Ten of Cups. Okay? Reuniting people together again and allowing the healing process to start. That is what I have, and ready for the next question, Kathy. Kathy.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to make my husband plate really quick so he doesn't come grumbling back down the hall. The next question. Excuse me. Doesn't that look good? I made chicken and bean enchiladas. One of these days I'll have to do a cooking show and give you the recipe. It's such an easy meal. It's like 30 minutes on the stove, pop it in the oven for 30 minutes, and it's done. Top it with sour cream. Okay. The next question is, will Russia take the nuclear option? Either on a I'm going to pose it as two questions. One, will they take a nuclear option as a ground to, a launch, a ground option, the smaller weapons that are nuclearized that can kill and target? And then the second part of the question is, or will they do the big one, push the button? And my guides are saying that they're going to try to use some nuclear weapons as the air to ground type weapons. My guys tell me no, they won't push the big button because
No.
his his people, they just like Trump, his oligarchs, those that are in control of the final launching of those weapons won't do it. They'll refuse.
So let's just read on the first question then.
Then will he use
Will
the ground, air to ground targeted
yes,
nuclear weapons? Okay.
yes. Will
Okay.
Russia use air to ground?
And I will be right back. I'm just gonna run this down the hall real quick.
Okay. Will Russia
I'm just gonna mute my mic.
use nuclear weapons on Ukraine? Anyone that actually, why am I using my good deck? That's terrible. No, let me get the nasty deck out. Okay.
Complain. You would buy me 7-Up? No. Drink tea. Such a loving wife.
I say yes because it's one of his final attempts to try to bully and impose his will on people to have control of the situation. Um, let's just say he's a nasty man, and I don't like his energy, and I don't like being in his energy. Um, right, and I honestly think he's not working with the full deck. He's got a few screws, too many screws loose. And the reason why I say that is because I think he's a little bit out of his mind. I have the Nine of Swords, and and all those rings around it, that would usually mean trauma to some extent. But to me, I feel like he's disconnected from realms of reality. He's not sure what's true, what's not true. I would even go out on a limb and say that he's probably has a mental diagnosis of either bipolar, schizophrenic, manic, something where he's not
He's an
grounded in
extreme
reality.
narcissist.
Somewhere like exactly, he's not grounded in his own reality. Okay, and what's overshadowing him is the Five of Cups, which is his depression, his lack of losing control. He knows he's not being successful as much as he wanted. He thinks everybody should be giving him rainbows and butterflies, but that's not the case. And what's opposing him is the Two of Pentacles upright, which is his sense of balance. That's what's opposing him. He's not making any sense. People think he's crazy, and I think honestly that's the whole issue here. On the surface, he's greedy and thinks everything should go his way because he's a dictator, and dictators don't like not hearing themselves talk. They don't like people having their own opinions, their own views. And His aspirations are very feminine in a way, to say that it's a gimme, 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 gimme. What's in it for me? It's kind of like that greed and that hunger for proving himself, right? With the eight or the Queen of Wands in reverse. The past, he had um, he had hope for he had hopes and dreams for things to work out for his legacy, but in reality, he's fighting off his own fears and his own inner demons with the moon in reverse. And if things are to continue in this pattern, I feel him having to step down, to be forced out with the Eight of Cups in reverse. I feel like his environment is slowly being taken away from him. He has a lack of willpower and esteem. His self-esteem is climbing down because there's no support with the King of Swords. I feel as though his hopes and fears, he thought he could make anything happen. He could materialize anything, but with the Magician in reverse, it's like he's a trickster. Like, he thinks just because of who he is, he's entitled to having what he wants or what he wants to do. And I feel as though if his path continues to threaten people like that, it's going to be the end of his demise with the Four of Wands in reverse. And so I don't know how those type of cards came up with the Ariel, if for Ariel to ground nukes, but it's pretty much on his own mindset why he feels justified in doing it.
Yeah, I get some weird cards on this too.
It's like he's justified. He feels justified for doing it.
The two cards at the bottom of my deck are really interesting because I get the Nine of Wands in reverse. He is not believing that he's in the situation he's in right now. He's depressed. This isn't gone like he's pictured it all these years. He's plotted and planned to do this. It's not working out, and he's not understanding why it's failed so much. And he's got that Eight of Wands around him. He's tied to this emotionally, and he's failing, and he knows it, and that's making him a bit crazy. In the center of my reading, I get he sees himself as it being extremely generous. He's laid down really fair offers as far as he's concerned on if Ukraine doesn't want him to take these actions, all they need to do is lay down their arms and I guess lay down so he can just take over and he'll take care of them. He thinks this is reasonable. Nobody in the world thinks it's reasonable. And the world's watching. This is what's crossing him is the whole world's watching him and nobody's backing him on this. Even China, who said, "Oh yeah, we'll back you," has already been in talks with Biden and is not doing what they said they would do. They're not sending him weapons. They're not sending him arms. They're not sending him supplies. They're trying to stay as neutral as possible and stay out of this mess because they don't really want to be in it. And so that's leaving him really dumbfounded. In his near past, there he is sitting with the Three of Swords in reverse. He's feeling defeated, confused. Why isn't this working? Why hasn't this worked out for him? His planning, his thought, he had this great military, etc. Why is this not working? It's just doesn't understand how this is going so wrong. He should have been in and out in a couple weeks. This should be over already. He gets a Seven of Swords in reverse. He's being defeated. He's not the thief in the night that's winning at all costs. He's losing and he knows it. And the longer this goes on, the more the Ukrainians are getting the upper hand. Now they've destroyed a battleship, providing more troops to take over. I mean, they've taken all his new refound troops and weapons and supplies and have sank it. And he did not count on that happening. He underestimated the strength of the Ukrainian people, and that they would stand up and face him. And he doesn't understand how he could be so mistargeted. This has financially cost him dearly. He's losing everything. His country, his finances, a lot of his money. He's he's a millionaire and he still has assets, but I would say probably better than 50% or 75% of what he had worldwide is gone. It has been taken from him. He is left with very little, and the ruble is only worth like fraction of a cent right now. So what he has in the way of rubles is worthless. Um, his hopes and fears is this Ace of Swords. His not winning. He hoped he would win, but he doesn't see it happening now. He's losing sight of this win, and he fears being left out in the cold with this ten of swords, just being froze out by the whole entire world. He's losing his legitimacy as a world power now, and he doesn't know how to cope with that. And in the interim, we've got NATO and all the countries working together, planning, plotting. How are we going to defeat this man? And here he stands as the King of Pentacles in reverse, in the dark. He's going to be a defeated king. He's going to lose everything financially. He's going to lose everything just because of the action he's taking. So I do see that, yes, because he takes these actions, that yes, he will try doing it. And the final outcome is, I think NATO's going to take the highest stand possible. This may be the thing that tips us into this war and going in. And my guides say, if we enter into this war, it will not be a World War III. It will be get in, clean up the mess, and get out. It will be very short-lived because Putin is so weak right now. He is pretty defeated. His army's starving. And the people on the ground are surrounded. They're starving. They don't have food. They don't have resources. They don't have fuel. They don't have even replacement ammo and stuff. They're going to start running out of resources because they can't get them in because they're cutting off all the train lines going into Ukraine that they were using to ship. All the roadways are blocked because all the vehicles that he had are getting hit by Ukrainian people. Are blowing up all those trucks that have been abandoned on roads. All the fuel trucks, all the supply trucks, everything are getting bombed up. The Ukrainian people are fighting a good fight despite what he's done. And I think that's leaving him with no option but to go air to ground nuke. And that leads to our next question. If he does that, well, at that point in time, is that when NATO is going to kick in and step up and send armed forces in to help Ukrainian out? Or are we going to just sit back and let Ukrainian fight their own war? So, did you read on that question yet, Dean?
Yeah, I already read on that question.
Okay, that's right. You started because I was delivering food. Okay, so the next question then on our list is, will NATO, if Putin uses any type of nuclear weaponry, will NATO take military action and help Ukraine out?
Well, I don't think it's military action. I think it's will they intervene?
Will they do? I mean, well, they've been intervening with sanctions taken. Will they
request for troops?
Will they do a request for troops? Will troops going in to help NATO fight or help Ukraine fight and take care of this matter?
We already know they will.
No, we don't. They're not committing to anything right now publicly.
Okay.
I think we know they will because we hear it. They will. Because my guides say, yeah, they're gonna end up stepping down. I think it's gonna happen fast, so I don't think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna accelerate it to an end faster. Putin uses nuclear weapons.
Got a lot of weird cards on this one.
The underlying card on my reading is they're hoping Putin will walk away. But I don't think that's going to happen. Under that, Putin's extremely burdened. I flip mine all upside down so I can't see them yet until I turn them. First card out. If Putin takes that action, yes, NATO will step up. This Ace of Cups, they can't allow that to continue. What's crossing it is Putin's demise. If he takes that action, it will be his fall with that Two of Wands. He will have no option but to give up because he's not going to be able to fight a war against multiple military force of the world, of all the world leaders getting together and saying this is going to end and this is going to end now. Above it, NATO's got the stars. The sun shining in the heavens and the heavens shining down on the earth, saying that if that's what they have to do to stop this, they will have to do it. Below them, the King of Cups. And this is usually my Biden card, that King of Cups, that emotional king. He's going to pull people. This is, I think, is something that has been thoroughly discussed in NATO. Is at what point in time will they be forced to enter this as a war act? And I think this is where everybody comes together and makes a decision how they're going to act if that is where the line is drawn. I think that's where they draw the line on getting involved or not. They're seeing Putin as the fool. They're not trusting that he won't do it. They're trying to take the leap of faith that he will not do it, but they think he's a fool and they can't trust that he will not take that action. So they have been planning for it. I get the death card, and this is death in the positive. It's going to be the ending and a new beginning for everybody. And I get the Hangman, and that's Putin in this, is the Hangman in reverse. He's losing perspective on what he's doing. And if he loses his full perspective and does the wrong thing, he'll have himself hung up and hung to dry. And I think this is not only he may be taken down by his own people, or he may be taken down by all the world leaders and them actually prosecuting him for war crimes, serious war crimes. I personally, my guides keep telling me he's going to be taken out by his own people. They're not going to assassinate him. He's going to step down and they're going to put him out. And that's going to be his best option.
I keep seeing that they're gonna like force into his office and take him by the arms and
And
and carry
remove
him
him.
out. Yeah,
They're going to
physically
remove him.
remove him.
Um,
And he's gonna be surprised about it too, by the way.
the biggest fear is how much is this going to cost all the countries with lives. I'm feeling like this I hear is lives. Nobody wants another war. Nobody wants a major world war. How much is this going to cost our happy families? And that's NATO's biggest fear is we do not want another war, especially a world war. And they fear the amount of time it's going to take to prevail with this knight of swords, a knight of wands. But it's a fire injury. They will take action. They will have no choice but to take action at that point in time. He does something as stupid as go nuclear. We do have the Queen of Wands moving forward and protecting us in this fiery energy. Um, they will all go in together, and it'll be an agreed upon. And ultimately, the final outcome card is Putin's loss, his loss of abundance. I think that's his people taking him out. Yeah, I don't see this as working out good for him. Yeah, he gets a six of swords. It's loss of victory. Clarify that nine of cups in reverse. He gets the victory in reverse. The six of cups in reverse. So he will lose. They will take him out. That will be his end. So he goes nuclear. It will be basically NATO will step in, take charge, take care of it. Don't know how long it'll take. I'm not hearing long. I'm hearing it's going to be pretty fast action. It may be through the end of summer, maybe into the winter. I don't know. But they will get it resolved. And they'll get him out.
Mm-hmm.
What are you getting? Or did you read?
Very similar. I mean, NATO's going to take action. They're going to freeze all their assets. They're going to put a stop to him trying to make any move on his chessboard. And they're going to collaborate. NATO's going to end up collaborating with others to try to make the move on freezing his assets and looking at ways to address handle the situation. And I think what they fear the most is he's not going to give up, because I have the 10 of wands right here. They're basically going to force him to play. They're going to have to allow him to play his hand to where they can get him where they want him. But ultimately, I'm just going to read like the last few cards I have, because it's not worth going over something that we've already discussed. I honestly feel like NATO's going to be victorious in this. They're going to be moving head on with this, with the Six of Wands. They're going to bury him and everything he represents with the Ace of Cups in reverse. They're going to again hang him again, bury him, hang him, and hold him to judgment with the Hangman in reverse. And NATO's going to prevail and resolving this with the Lady Justice. So the truth will set you free in this aspect. I don't see anything really negative in this other than just the only thing negative I see is Putin's aspects on this read. But that's what I got. How many more questions do we have, Kathy?
One.
Okay.
And the final question was one I saw regarding the G20. And I was just looking up to see the G20 is scheduled to take place in October of 2022, which is quite a ways off.
What's G20?
That's where all the countries come together and meet in a big summit. All the heads of states of all the governments meet in a big summit. It's going to be held in Bali, Indonesia this year is hosting it. And President Biden has asked the G20 committee if Russia will be excluded from this meeting, because this is the head of all the world powers coming together at this summit. And he was told, yes, they're not inviting Russia. But my question is, will Russia say, we're going anyways, because we are a world leader too? So that was my final question is, will Russia be attending the G20 in October of 2022 when it comes up? Or will, and we don't know what's going to happen between now and October, what Putin will do. So, because we haven't asked any timing. So let's find out if Russia will be part of the G20 coming up in October in Indonesia.
Possibly. I felt possibly already, but possibly. And I don't know if this is because there's a change. Their fates have changed, and I don't know. But I do have the death in reverse, so I just think this is a forced change. But I don't know if there's going to be any growth in it. Yeah, yeah. I have the temperance that's overshadowing it. Their 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 loss of power this time just does not look with their loss of power. There's no fruits of their labor. There's no life. It's just all sand in an hourglass. There's nothing there for them to sustain life. So I feel as though they're not at peace, and I don't think that they could offer anything beneficial to this meeting, whatever the hell it is. Opposing them is their is their is their illusions with the Seven of Cups in reverse. On the surface, they feel like it is their duty to be there with the Eight of Wands, so they're going to move forward with trying to be there, and nothing's going to hold them back. They aspire to be at peace. They aspire to be at this meeting with the Two of Cups and upright, but I don't know if that's going to be a reality. Their past and current present is Four of Pentacles. They feel like they should be welcomed and allowed to be frugal among their peers. But I feel as though if they did show up, they would be rejected with the Emperor in reverse. So I just don't think it's beneficial for them to be there. Then everybody's healing from their negativity right now, or the negativity brought on by one man. Ooh, yes. I have the Chariot for their self view, but it's in reverse. So I want to see what the rest of these cards look like. Well, I don't know. I do feel as though they will be there, but they'll be sent away. But I have a feeling they want the peace. They're going to fight to get there, aggressively fight to be accepted and noticed there, but I don't know. Because the last few cards I have are, like I said, the Chariot in reverse. I have the Page of Cups upright. Like they want to like extend like an olive branch in a way, but I feel like they're being shunned with the Eight of Cups upright and the World's on top of them upright. So I feel like they want to make an effort to be noticed and recognized and to be able to participate. I think this is after Putin is taken off,
I'm
but
with you.
I don't know
I got a
if
card. I just clarified on that.
I don't know if it's all about it's too early, or they wanted the truth is in the pudding or something. I don't know. What are you getting, Kathy?
Okay, first of all, the underlying card in my reading is the Queen of Wands. This is that queen that holds, that's analyzing things, that's looking at the big picture. She's got the fire energy. She's got knowledge. She's got strength. She's got know-how. I think this is the whole organization, the G20, looking at the situation, analyzing what's going on, to determine if they should be included or not in this program. I don't think that the final decision hasn't come forth because we're quite a ways out to it still. Um, I'm feeling like Russia is looking at this. They're in reflection of this war, this action they've been taking, the wounded soldier, reflecting on what's been going on and what's happened in the past. Um, there's a lack of trust in this because they're still seen as the devil, um, upright. They're under an oligarchy power force. And I'm feeling like the emperor's been replaced, and you'll see that come up in just a few cards. They're trying to take the higher ground with the Queen of Swords. They're feeling like they should be rising back up in the power, in the truth, and being trusted. They're holding their sword up in the light now. Things have changed. They're wanting to be recognized in power again. But we have justice here. Um, Justice hasn't come to full fruition yet. Before this process, and so all the world leaders are trying to decide what and how they're going to receive Russia in this regard. Um, then I get the emperor, and when I dropped this card down, I heard this is the new emperor. This is who takes over because um, they're seeing Russia as being this yellow rose, a friendlier group, a happier family. Um, and Putin's now walked away. I think that's him being forced out and being taken over. And I have this feeling that this emperor is his second in command, the one man he still trusts. I think he's the one that's going to overtake him, and he can't be trusted either. Um, Russia's seeing that the stars shining on them now. They're in the light. They're coming to, they're not Putin anymore, but they're still carrying all the burdens that Russia has put the world under. So they're not being trusted at the point of this G20 coming on. And that's a clarification on that new emperor. They don't trust this new emperor. They don't see him in the light. They do see that he's taken over for Putin, but he's carrying Putin's burden still. He was his right-hand man. The underlying card is, of the reading that I got in regards to the way the G20 under this Queen of Wands, the G20 is looking at the finances. This has cost the world and all the countries, and also they're delivering the new messages with this Page of Swords. They want to live in the truth, the light of what is best for the world at this point in time. And these are things that are going to be heavily discussed at the G20s. How are the world powers going to come together to prevent this from happening again? And I think their decision is they're going to leave Russia out in cold. This is Russia with the Three of Pentacles or the Five of Pentacles in reverse. They're not ready to take them in. Russia's falling apart. It's not a power. It's not a high power anymore. They've pretty much financially been destroyed as a country. And the G20 is going to take into consideration everything that's happened, everything that's evolved, and this new emperor, this new power. Russia has no abundance anymore. They don't have anything to contribute to the world powers at this point in time. They have nothing anybody wants to trade with them. They don't have any resources that we want, that the world wants. The world wants peace. They want to look in a new direction. I think that's what's going to be discussed. My underlying feeling of this whole G20 coming up, if the war manages to get through and Putin's taken out by the time the G20 happens, my thought is G20's biggest focus is going to be on world peace and how they're going to prevent any of this ever happening again. I think this will be the end of all wars in our world, as we've seen it. And I think they're going to put a stop to a lot of these religious wars going on in the Middle East and stuff. They're going to just say, no, we're not going to do it anymore. The fighting has got to stop. And we need this to change. So that's my opinion. I'm hearing my guides go, yes, yes, yes. Once this war is over, there will be a big world change in the way we look at war and the way we look at world peace. And I think it's going to be the beginning of the reuniting of our world. So I want to say blessings to everybody. I hope this reading was helpful. If you have any questions you want to ask, and I'm sorry I haven't been reading the chat because it's hard to read like this because I'm in and out of spirit the whole time, and I know Dean is too. It's hard to read the chat. We do thank you for attending. I will go back and reread the chat. If you do have any questions or anything we'd like to read on, we're going to try to do politics on Thursday and come up with some pre-prepared questions. I will put out a video announcing that we're going to be taking questions so that you can post questions ahead of time if you have any. That would be really helpful to come up with some interesting questions. I've been trying to stay out of Trump's energy because it's sticky and gooey and yucky, and everybody else is still reading on it. So, but if you want me to go in that direction, I will next week. Just let me know. And I will put out a video probably Wednesday because we're not doing any lives on Wednesday. That's our day off. So I will post one up Tuesday night to have it there on Wednesday morning. And then when you see it, just if you have any questions you come up with in current events, go ahead and list them and we'll add those to our Thursday reading. And we'll be on Thursday for politics at 7 or 8, probably 8 Central, and that's 6 Pacific time. That's 8 Eastern time. So everybody should be home from work and able to catch us then. And we want to thank you for joining us today. And we will be on live tomorrow evening. I'm not sure what time on Hermit's Corner. What time do you think we'll be on tomorrow? We'll probably do some.
Probably sounds very late time. 8.
About 8 Central, 6 Pacific. Okay, that works. So we'll be back on tomorrow, 6, 7, 8, 9, 4 times 6, 7, 8, 9 for mini readings. And thank you for joining us. And we will see you tomorrow.
Good night, everybody.
Stay, everybody, and say your prayers for Ukraine, protection of Ukraine. Good night.